All right, guys, welcome back to another episode, another webinar series of Real Estate Mastery. And for the second week in a row, we are Tristan Less.
Who is
However,
that guy? He's like actually selling real estate or something? What is
you know, isn't that funny? He's at a
Yeah,
listing appointment. What the hell? I
weird.
mean,
So
what is
weird.
he actually does real estate. But I think you guys just came back from family reunion. So for the KWers, I think everybody's back today.
Yeah, we're all back to the grind, trying to catch up.
Good stuff. So today we thought, and going forward, by the way, for all of our attendees and anybody watching this recording, we're going to start implementing and entering in more guests and more like experts on the topics that we're talking about, because we think that's just as valuable, if not more valuable, than just constantly hearing me and Tristan talk. And for this one, obviously, we have been kind of on a social strategy conversation, and we have done Facebook, we've done Instagram, we've done TikTok, and now we're jumping right into YouTube, which if you're living under a rock, folks, YouTube is arguably the most powerful social platform for real estate. And I'd say the biggest reason is because it's owned by Google. And so it's essentially a search engine for you, the real estate agent. And this gentleman right here, Ken Pozek, is absolutely crushing it. And we're going to dive deep. We're going to let him tell us about his story. I'm just going to give you a couple of stats because I can see them on my other screen here. So Ken is in Orlando, and you're relatively new-ish to Orlando. We're going to let him explain that. He's got 1,600, is that right? 1,600 followers on YouTube?
Yeah, 1,600 subscribers.
Which is really freaking impressive. It's hard to get subscribers on YouTube. And Ken uses the strategy to basically become the authority, the expert, the man in his market by sharing content that is specific to his market. And before I dive into the interview with Ken, one thing I want to point out to anybody listening who doesn't already understand or know this, YouTube is completely different than Facebook or Instagram. Facebook and Instagram are more authentic personal content, and you sprinkle in business content. And it's short videos, 30, 60 seconds tops. YouTube is the opposite. It's like 5 to 7 minute videos or longer. That's what the algorithm wants. And it can be all business content because remember, it's a search engine, right? So without further ado, nobody wants to hear me talk this entire hour. So Ken, introduce yourself, where you're at, and then I'm just going to get diving into asking you a bunch of questions.
Dude, sounds good. So I'm in Orlando, Florida. My name's Ken Pozek. I run an awesome team here in Orlando. But I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Detroit. I've got into real estate at a very young age of 18 and was flipping houses and that kind of thing. And built a team over some time up till about 2016. We had 40 million in sales, 110 sales or something like that in 2016. And my wife and I looked at each other and we said, do we want to live in Detroit forever? I think I can do this anywhere, so why not try? So at later part of 2016, we relocated to Orlando because it seemed like it would be fun. And so last year we ended up the year at 2019 at 153 sides for 46 million. A lot of that was YouTube, agent referrals, database referrals, a little bit of farming. Those were like our 4 pillars. And of that, like the past 12 months, I would say about $200,000 in GCI came directly from YouTube.
Say that again.
In the past 12 months, we had like $200,000 in GCI that's come directly from leads that we got on YouTube.
That's insane. And did you hear that? He moved to Orlando at the end of 16. So he's been there for 3 years, roughly. 3 years. That was the 3rd year. Yep. You're crushing it with YouTube. So we have to just obviously dive right into that. So when you moved to Orlando, was your immediate strategy that I need to be creating video content, which by the way, 245 videos, I think was last I checked on your YouTube channel. You're creating consistent content.
Yep.
Let's start there. So what is, I guess, let me go back to the original question. What was your strategy when you got to Orlando? Was this mindful, or was this like something you stumbled into?
Yeah, it was something that I for sure stumbled into. I didn't start even doing anything on YouTube until like the latter part of 17. So it's really only been 2 years. I think I had, 60 follower or 60 subscribers my first year. And then over the past year, it started kind of consistently adding 100 a month or so. But no, it was like looking at what other people are doing. I was trying to get better at knowing the area because I wanted to actually like, I'm a great like realtor, but like I didn't know the area as well as I knew Detroit. So I'm sitting there Googling and I found a couple realtors doing some things. And I was like, you know what? I think we could do this even better. And so I just grabbed my phone and a gimbal and I started just going crazy on creating new content. And it was like, we're doing like almost one a day, like super simple, like model home walkthroughs and stuff like that. And we started getting leads. And I'm like, man, I'm turning this like, into actually something. And so after a while, we started spending money on, better editors, and now I have a videographer on staff. But it was very, very like, hey, I'm going to do this as free as possible for as long as possible until I need to get a little bit better. And it's been great. So not only, I mean, we'll get into it a little bit deeper, but video is, it's insane when you think about the three pillars like that you can get from video. Like one, you're going to get leads, which is great. Two, it's better for conversion because you have a Zillow lead that comes in or a Realtor.com lead that comes in, and you want to kind of show that you're the local expert. You're sending them your content there. Nobody else is doing that. And then three, for agent referrals, like we're huge in agent referrals. We sent out like $160,000 in referral fees last year. And so, if an agent's like, hey, do you know the Winter Garden area? I'm like, yeah, not only that, but check out these videos that we've done. And we become the expert of that area. And so, and video first is our motto for 2020, and we're going in.
That's awesome. And so let's stay back when you started. And this is something that we talk about all the time when we talk about video. And this is important for everybody to hear who can't either, they're not at the level to hire their own full-time videographer. Cause I'm the same way. We hired our own full-time videographer a year ago,
yeah.
but it took like 3 years of me creating my own content on my own, occasionally sending stuff out that I had created on my cell phone to have edited. But for the most part, you can do this with you don't even need a gimbal. I mean, I would say you just need a simple tripod, maybe a lav mic, but even then AirPods work just fine, and your damn cell phone, and you can create all this content. So you started by doing, you said open house videos. Like, how did you turn that into business? How did you turn that into leads?
So it was really looking at, okay, what are people Googling? So going to Google and finding out, like, is anybody typing in moving to Orlando? Well, of course they are. Now, who's my competition? And so I noticed that my competition were people that mostly in my area is mostly like Disney people, right? Bloggers that were like talking about moving to Orlando. So I'm like, I'm not going to go after those keywords. They're too hard. So I decided I'm going to go super long tail keyword, which is, if you don't know SEO, long tail just means like as specific as possible. And so for me, it was like the Ashton Woods Duval model at Latham Park. And I was going through builder models and I'd ask the builder, hey, I'm going to shoot a video. Hopefully I can bring you some clients. Is that okay? And all of them said yes. Cool. So then we're shooting model home videos. And now anytime anybody types in Ashton Woods in this city, we come up first. And so buyers are naturally driving around looking for stuff. And then we were popping up. Then at the end, we just had a bunch of we've tried a lot of different call to actions. We've just kind of settled on, hey, listen, I want to be your real estate resource of choice. If you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in Orlando, I want to be your realtor. Here's my number. And then they call. And so it's literally every day now we're getting people that are reaching out in one capacity or another, buyers, sellers. And that's pretty much it, man.
So how do you execute when you talk about that very specific line that you used? Are you using it in individual keywords? Are you using it in the text? Are you using it in the title? Because there's three places, and let's dumb it down and get very basic.
Yeah,
always assume that one person doesn't understand YouTube at all. Basically, you've got a title, then you've got an explanation about what the video is about, and then you've got the keywords. And I would argue the keywords are probably the most important. But explain that to the listener and explain how you executed that with the example that you gave.
Yeah, so with the example that I use, so again, we'll stick with Ashton Woods, Duval model, Latham Park, right? So you've got the builder, the model type, and the neighborhood.
Those are keywords.
Those are keywords, right? And so you have to think like if someone's Googling, what are some of the things that they're looking for? And so for me, the title is probably one of the most important, right? So what you're naming it, what you're naming your video after you've uploaded it to YouTube is extremely important, because that's what Google's looking at about like, hey, I want to deliver content that people actually want to watch. And so you want to get very specific. It's not like, you're not writing a romance novel. It's not like, sweet bungalow in the heart of, Orlando. Nobody's Googling that, right? You need to get specific on exactly what Google is going to pick up. And so that's it. And then you've got the description. So that's the title of the video. And then underneath is going to be the description, where you can write a ton of stuff.
Stay at the title. So what did you use for the title for the one that you're talking about? Like, give us an example.
So the title would just specifically be Duval Model by Ashton Woods Model Home Tour.
So very micro, like you're not trying to go broad here. You need to intentionally go very specific, because the odds of somebody actually typing that in versus sweet, cute bungalow is nil. But
Correct.
Somebody who knows what they want is going to specifically type in those words. Google is going to look at you as the expert, bring you to the top of the search engine, and you win, right?
Done. Exactly. And so here's the other thing to pay attention to is, like, if you go back to 2017, early 2018, those videos don't have a ton of views. They have like 40, 100, 120 views, right? But that's 120 people that are extremely targeted, looking for that specific thing, right? So I have some home run videos. We've got some that are 80,000 views, and we get leads from those too. But you got to start very niche, get your lead gen machine going, and then build it out from there.
It's interesting you said that, and I want to point that out because, and we talk about this on all the social platforms, us as real estate professionals, the goal is not to go viral. That's not the point. I mean, it's cool. It helps your ego and it allows you to promote yourself, but that's not the point. The point is to gain business. And if I have a video that gets 1 million views and a video that gets 20 views, but I got 0 business from the 1 million and 2 deals from the 20, I'll take the 20 all day long.
Which one was more successful?
Exactly.
Right.
That's great to point out. Okay, so you gave us the example of the title. What about the in the body and like how you describe it?
Yeah, so how you describe it is also very important, because Google's going to be, I've read a lot of different things. The majority of it says that the first sentence in the description is going to be the most important thing of the copy, and so you want to get in on, very similar to your title, you're just kind of rephrasing a lot of those keywords first. So today I'm walking through the Duval Model by Ashton Woods in Latham Park, right? Period. And then you get into what the house looks like, here's how, and then at the end, maybe like we caption it with, here's how I'm saving buyers thousands of dollars. If you're thinking about buying or selling, here's my email, website, phone number, and we wrap it up. That's pretty much it.
Do you recommend, because I have a feeling there's a lot of agents that are thinking, because everybody always says, can I just hire a company to create content for me? Just like they're probably thinking to themselves, which the answer is no, by the way, or it needs to be just a small piece of it.
Yeah.
How about when it comes to creating that copy? I have a feeling an agent's thinking, can I just cut and paste what I put in the MLS and slap it in there?
No, because at that point, when someone's looking in the MLS, they're like already looking at remarks. They already know where the house is. You're not writing that for Google. All of this is because YouTube is owned by Google, is you're writing to make Google love you. Okay. And so there's a lot of great YouTubers out there that specifically teach just this. But really what you want to do is in the description, making sure that you're not keyword stuffing. It's not like every other word is your keyword, but you're adding it a few times throughout, making sure that it's in that first sentence, and that'll be a decent description.
Awesome. So, and then once we get down to keywords, which again, I think keywords are probably the most important. That's where Google's finding you. Obviously, number one, how many keywords is the right amount? Do you have a certain strategy with that?
We try to keep it around 10. And really they tell us that the first couple keywords are going to be the most important. Again, you're trying to have that line up with title and description, but your keywords or tags at the bottom are going to be, again, the model, the builder, or like in your area, if you don't have new construction, it's going to be the type of home, the neighborhood, everybody has a neighborhood, or the building, or the area of town, right? You're trying to have those keywords be first. And then after that, I put in, Ken Pozek, because people search my name, and some other pieces like that.
So do you have specific keywords like Ken Pozek, like your brand, like Orlando, like specific markets, like Florida, that are in every single post?
Yeah. I mean, my name, our group name, Keller Williams, and Orlando are in every post. And then the rest of them are way more hyper local, hyper specific tags.
And that's important because then Google, it sees that consistency. So Google then is going to see you. And these are all computers and algorithms here.
Yep.
They see Ken as the expert on all things Orlando real estate. So anytime anybody types anything in Orlando real estate, Ken is probably going to show up at the top of a Google search.
Yeah, you got it. And so also like what you name your video when you're uploading it should have something to do with your keywords, the way, you know, your thumbnail, all of that kind of stuff. Thumbnails, are we ready to get into that a little bit?
Sure, let's go.
All right, cool. So the thumbnail, right? The thumbnail has to represent roughly 50% of your success when someone's scrolling in, right? So yes, now you've got found, you're in the top 10 videos of whatever those keywords are, but then is someone gonna wanna click on your video and even watch it, right? If it's not a compelling video or compelling thumbnail, they're just going to keep scrolling by to whoever's next. And so spending some time learning thumbnails is really important. And I'll just give you a couple quick tips. One, having your face in it is important. I went to VidCon a few months ago, and they were talking about being able to see the whites of your eyes. That's how close you want to be in the thumbnail, and having some sort of reaction, like, or, you know, whatever it is, having some bold text that people can read. And then if you really want to geek out, go look at what your competition is doing, and then do the opposite. So if your competition in your area is all red and white and black, then be orange and green, right? Stand out one way or the other so that people are going to want to start clicking.
It's interesting. And a part of, I assume that a part of that strategy is from the thumbnails is it's a lot of branding too. It's consistency. It's consistently seeing your face, right?
Exactly right.
So when it comes to the bold text though, that's going to require some editing skills. So let's talk about those that don't have those editing skills. What's the most important? Just the face? Just because, correct me if I'm wrong, this is like how how you should start a video, which is with a hook. Never start with an intro, always start with a hook. A thumbnail is a hook, essentially.
Right.
What's going to grab their attention? And so let's just say with no editing skills, I'm purely doing this on my cell phone, is just basically the primary focus is choosing the right thumbnail based on the brand?
Yeah, I think, again, it's the primary deal is going to be the most clickable. So like YouTube, when you update when you upload your video, it's automatically going to choose 3 thumbnails for you. And you can, you know, sometimes it's mid pause, you're going to look like, you know, like all crazy. Other times it's a perfect thumbnail and it looks great, right? So if you have no editing skills, that's okay. You can also, though, use Canva. It's free. They have templates. You just basically do a screen grab or take a photo of yourself and upload it to Canva and just click on YouTube thumbnail and it'll make it look really pretty. So I'm not a designer. I'm not super creative and I can figure it out. So, you know, Canva, PicMonkey, those are 2 that we really like.
I love it. I love it. What about do you use any services as far as choosing keywords, like a TubeBuddy or anything like that?
Not yet.
Okay, awesome. So what would you say, and I'm actually, let me digress for a second. I was just thinking to myself, are you on your computer? Do you have multi-screen or just one screen?
Just one screen.
Do you have the ability to share your screen? Well, I know you have the ability to share your screen, but then maybe go into one of your videos and show the audience a little bit more about what we're talking about in terms of some of the things we're discussing. Oh, otherwise I can, but.
Yeah, I've never done it before, so you'll have to help me out here. Let's see.
Okay, so at the bottom of the screen, you see a share button. If you click it, and then it's going to basically give you the options that you need to choose, and then ask you what screen. But if you only have one, then you just share it.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, cool.
So let's go in and show them, because I know we're talking about this stuff, and I think it's more important for people to learn visually so they can see what we're talking about here.
Yep.
So basically, let's go into one of your videos, and then I want to get a little bit deeper. But now that they can see this, they're going to be able to see a lot more about what kind of content you're putting out, what kind of content they should be putting out.
Yep.
So here's your home screen. Actually, go back to that. Go back to the home screen.
Yep.
So this is very important, and I think you would probably agree with me. Like, look at that banner. I mean, you can't get any more, like, right in your, hi, I'm Ken Pozek, real estate agent in Orlando. I mean, duh, like that's excellent. And honestly, people don't put enough stock in this just on Facebook either, and they should. It's so important to have a nice, good banner in addition to your profile picture, which profile pictures everybody understands, but banners are important. Look at that.
Yeah. So real quick, I'll go to a private window because that's what people see when they've returned to my YouTube channel. But the first time that they've ever visited it, this is what it looks like. So this is on a little incognito window. So you can see what people look like when they first show up here. All right. So now when they first,
I'm Ken Pozek, real estate agent here in Orlando, Florida.
Hold on, we're not seeing what I'm still seeing what we saw originally.
Oh, didn't switch over?
No, not yet.
Let's see.
We're still seeing the hi, I'm Ken Pozek cover page.
Share, new share, boom. Does that get better?
No, we're still looking at this. Oh, there it is. Yep. So now I see the hi, I'm Ken.
Yeah, so that's our intro video. So you shoot an intro video, and basically nobody that's ever seen you before, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, tell them a little bit about your channel. Why do they want to watch this, right? And so you've got for us, the banner here matches the video down here, and kind of go from there.
So let me ask you, this video says it was done 4 months ago, but yet you've been executing the strategy for 2 years. Is that something that you've just updated, or is it something that you just added recently?
Yeah, so it's a video that we've update every 3 or 4 months. Sort of like, here's new video, new content. It's staying fresh. And so, I mean, you look at this. So this video only plays when someone visits this and has got 2,200 people that have viewed it, right? So yeah, in 4 months, not bad.
I love it. And you know what? You bring up a good point. It's kind of like agents. It's kind of like your professional photo. Right. So many of you have a glamour shot from 1996 that you have not updated. And this is a great example of what Ken's doing here. Is he is consistently creating a new updated welcome video every so often. That's awesome.
Yep, that's right. So unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, I lost about 40 pounds since I shot that video 4 months ago. So now I got to get a new intro video.
Well, let's see the intro video. Let's show them what that looks like.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on a second.
Sorry.
My bad.
And don't forget, guys, anybody on this who's watching this live, you're welcome to ask questions in the chat or in the Q&A. We'll definitely answer everything.
Cool. Can you see this video?
I can.
Oh, here we go.
I'm Ken Pozek, real estate agent here in Orlando, Florida. There's a few things that I'm just okay at, like juggling and playing the guitar. But at least I suck at tennis. Don't get me started on basketball. Hit me. But there is one thing that I am very good at, which is selling real estate. How do I know? Well, hundreds of my team and I's past clients have left us 5-star reviews on Google, Facebook, Realtor.com, Zillow, Angie's List, Yelp, and Google.
You already said Google.
I know. She might say, well, Ken, do 5-star reviews even matter? Well, you wouldn't eat from a 1-star sushi restaurant, would you? Or get your haircut by a 2-star caring.
Honey, sit back. Let me do what I do.
I don't think so. So give me a call today. If you're looking to buy or sell a house anywhere in the Orlando area, I'll use my decade of experience to save you time, money, and we'll have fun in the process. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to point out here. Number one, don't be intimidated by this. Obviously, he has a full-time videographer, but you can see. Keep sharing. I want to show some more stuff. But the key is, I think the biggest key component of this is, again, it doesn't need to be this. It doesn't need to be professionally done. No. But what's important is that he used humor and authenticity in that video. It's not, I'm Ken Pozek and I'm a real estate agent and let me bore you with some real estate stats and how wonderful I am. It was totally just having fun and joking around and then spinning in the real estate. That is so freaking important. We say it all the time. And you epitomize it right there. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. Yeah, my first one was literally my cell phone, that tripod that you showed earlier, and me in a room, just real quick. Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. Like, it's high energy. I'm not naturally high energy. So, like, if you know the disc, like, you gotta be high I, like, hey, this is Ken Pozek, real estate agent here. Listen, thanks so much for joining the channel. Here's what you're gonna learn when you watch my YouTube channel. Like, boom, 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 boom. Right. And it's like quick, right? I don't even think there was even any editing in it, right? When you first get started. And so, and we're closing deals consistently without all of that stuff, right? So don't be intimidated by far.
That's important to know. Like he said, he was getting deals, getting leads, closing deals, and he didn't have the professional videographer. It was just a matter of being seen more often and using and playing the game correctly.
Right.
So let's go back to the page where we can kind of see like your playlist of videos.
Yep.
So let's just kind of peruse this for a second. So you can kind of see here, what does 500K buy? Moving to Orlando, Island Village update. So you're going micro community.
Yep.
Margaritaville, Orlando, Lakeshore community. I mean, look at this. He's got home tours. A lot of it is, I mean, 2019 wasn't saying you did a year in review. I mean, and look at the times on these videos, folks. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes is the shortest one I see on there. Remember, YouTube can be longer form content because that's what YouTube wants. It's totally different than Facebook and Instagram. Now, let me ask you that. Do you share a lot of this stuff back to those platforms or no?
Yeah, so I always put it out on my personal Instagram, and from that I'm picking up about 5% of our traffic, and then we do share it like every once in a while on Facebook. I don't try to do it all because really my whole idea with this is search, but trying to get it in front of our database, all that kind of stuff is really important to us.
I love it. And remember that one thing I'll always point out to people is a lot of the biggest mistake people make is again, laziness. Like they want to, copy and paste the MLS just because it's easy. If you're going to create video content, post it on YouTube and think you're going to share it back to Facebook, you need to remember that Facebook and YouTube are in competition.
That's right.
They don't work in conjunction with each other. So arguably, and then some say it's factual, the algorithm is going to suppress your post when you're sharing a YouTube video. So your video is not going to get as much viewership on Facebook or Instagram as it would if you posted it organically. So post the video unless you're trying to draw people to YouTube, which is cool. That's fair. But for the most part, you should be posting your video content on Facebook and Instagram organically and organically to YouTube, two separate, right?
Yep. You got it. You nailed it.
I love it. Okay. So let's take a look at these videos here. So, let's take a look at one. So I'm looking at the views now. So 208, 1000. Let's look at like one of your home runs and see if we can identify why it was a home run. I saw a 7,800 you just passed.
Well, this one's like probably my biggest one.
77,000 views. Okay. So before you play it, tell us why you think it crushed.
I think, this is when I was released. I mean, this was a, year and a half ago. This is when I first started understanding keywords. This is the only video that I have a little bit of an ad spend on. I spend over the past 6 months, we've put $100 a month on Google ads. So I was noticing we're getting a lot of traffic. So like 48,000 of those 77,000 are paid for, but that 25 to 30,000 were completely organic. And we were started getting leads from this. I'm like, man, I need to lean in on this video because people are like, they resonated with what was in the video.
Dude, that's a really good point. So you heard what he just said. If you're following the analytics of your posts, and again, this applies to all platforms, but specifically on YouTube, if it's doing well, don't stop and think, I don't need to put money behind it. That's more reason to put money behind it because obviously people want it. Right. So just naturally speaking, you can't touch a fraction of the audience that you can touch if you put money behind it. So when something is performing, put a little bit of money behind it. What'd you say, $100 in a month?
$100 a month, yeah.
I mean, do the math on what that costs per day or per week. It's not that much money. Yeah. And look what it done. Well, look what it has done for him. Yep. I mean, that's massive. Let's play a little bit of it. We don't have to play the whole 4 minutes, but let's play a little bit of it.
Yeah, here you go.
My name's Ken Pozek. I'm a real estate agent and homeowner here in Celebration, Florida. And today I'm going to give you sort of a tour that includes a top 10 list of things that maybe you didn't know about Celebration in this iconic town. So come on, let's take a look.
I've seen this one before.
Number one about Celebration is that we actually aren't owned and run by Disney. Many people think that because we live here, obviously we might get free annual passes or something like that, but it actually was designed and thought of by Disney, but Disney does not maintain control other than a few things, which we'll talk about in a minute. So number two is—
Hey, pause that for a second. Are you holding a stabilizer there? Are you videoing yourself?
Yeah, I'm videoing myself. So it's a gimbal. It's a $100 DJI Osmo mobile. Like it's the first one that they ever came out with. And so it's just me holding it with a gimbal making sure it doesn't look all shaky, you know?
That's important, by the way. If you're going to do walking videos or anything where you're moving around, if you're holding your phone, I'm going to punch you in the face, because I don't like watching those videos because they make me want to throw up.
Yeah.
So don't do it. They're
Yeah.
not, that's why you need a gimbal. And I don't usually endorse gimbals, but if you're going to do this, let me ask you one more question. I've noticed now, we watched 2 videos. You're consistently walking in your videos. Why?
I just feel more natural and more comfortable when I'm walking anyways. And so sitting at a table, talking to my camera, is always been a little bit more difficult for me. And so, but if like when I'm on the cell phone, I'm walking. And so, to me, it changes the background. It keeps it interesting. It shows off kind of what I'm talking about at the same time, and draws people in. And so it's pretty good.
I love it.
Thank you. So yeah, so top 10 lists are great. We've done a lot of other, so this one's pretty fantastic. And at the end,
go ahead and play. Yeah, go ahead and play the end. Go ahead.
Celebration isn't its own city or town. It's actually a master plan community located within Kissimmee, which is
and that's all. This is all drone footage I did myself. I mean, you don't have to add drone footage, but I edited this whole thing on iMovie. It was like
I love it.
super easy.
I love it.
And although we're right next to Disney property, I mean, you can see Disney fireworks at night, we're actually not on Disney property. Fact number 3 is that Celebration's actually divided up into a lot of different little villages.
So I think you kind of get it. So it's just really like the questions that we get asked all the time, right? When people are calling in, like, I don't understand this about the town, or can you tell me a little bit more about this? Like, I just created a top 10 list and created a video on it. And now when people are Googling that, they're like, dude, this guy knows everything, right? But like, to be quite honest with you, I think I'm an okay realtor, but like there's plenty of people that know a lot more than me, but I put it on video. And so now I command the expertise, if you will, in the buyer's eyes.
I love it, man. I love it. And I want to say, Sandra, I noticed you had your hand up. If you have a question, just please put it in the chat box or the Q&A. Feel free to fire away with any questions. Okay, so let's go into one of those videos. Let's just choose an average one. Let's do, I want to do 2 different videos. So let's do a like that Winter Garden one. So you've got Alford's Drive, Alford. Yeah. Let's look at a property video. And then I want to look at another video just to kind of show the title, first of all, which, look at it. He didn't hire a creative copyright to write that title. Very right. Simple, right? Now let's see what the text is about the video.
Yeah, so this was really more because of, this is like a seller video. I'm not trying to get traffic for this per se. This is really not a great example because this is more or less like, let's make the seller know that we're putting it out there.
But that's important. That's important though, because that's how you get listings sometimes. I'm sure you leverage listings just based on your YouTube credibility.
That 100%. Yeah. So like, this is really like where I'm highlighting here, the St. Lawrence model by Ashton Woods offers, right? So those are the keywords that I was going for. And kind of just talking a little bit more about the house, but
let's go see keywords. You might have to go to edit.
Yeah. So St. Lawrence, Duval, Ashton Woods, the address, Winter Garden, Ken Pozek, new listing, Keller Williams, new home, Winter Garden, Horizon West Home, which is like the area of Winter Garden.
So let me ask you something here. When I think a lot of people think keywords, they think one word, but you're obviously, that's not the case. You're saying it's like, can be a phrase or it can be multiple words. It can be basically a sentence is a key word.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's right. So really the key word would be like the phrase that people are typing into Google, right? And so a lot of people, like in our area, new construction is 30% of the sales. So buyers are very savvy on model types, builder types, all that kind of stuff. And so for me, I wanted to make sure we were hitting those things.
This is fantastic, man. That's really good information. So scroll back up, go back a page and click on analytics, just because I want to show the audience what that looks like. Because this is actually really valuable. And I don't think a lot of people actually use this. So do you use analytics at all? Are you studying your analytics?
No, I totally do, yeah.
Okay, so tell us how you're using analytics or what you're looking for. And maybe this isn't a good video example, but
yeah. No, it's not fantastic. So this is definitely a below average, if you will, video. But in terms of just, you're looking at, okay, so overview, I had 206 views, watched hours, right? No subscribers. I have monetization on for some of my videos, although I'm getting ready to turn it off. That's a whole nother more YouTube 2.0 thing, but in terms of reach, how many people is it getting in front of? Did they actually click through? So that means they saw the thumbnail, but did they actually want to click on it or not? And so, sub 4% is not fantastic. So that's really why I need to upgrade my thumbnails. Like you'll notice, I'm going to go back because this isn't really great stuff to teach people. Let me go back to where it actually makes more sense. Oops.
Yeah, because I want to go back. I want to dive a little bit deeper and explain what that means to everyone watching, because this is important for them to know.
Sure. So videos. All right. So here's a good one. So moving to Orlando, it's got 1,000 views in the past week.
And so what is this video about?
This is legitimately just moving to Orlando. So it's all about like, if you're considering moving to Orlando, this might be a video you want. And like, here's an amazing thing is after just 3 days, I rank number 2 video when you type in anything about anything with moving to Orlando. I'm the second video up already.
And so what are you telling them? So give us just a quick snip of what the content consists of.
So essentially it's like, here's some things you might be thinking about if you're moving to Orlando. So cost of living, areas of around town, jobs, rent versus buy, and just kind of tips and tricks on if you're thinking about moving to Orlando, what you should be thinking about.
Awesome. Very good. All right, let's get into the analytics a little bit.
So this one, I picked up 26 subscribers from people watching this one, 1,000 views. Obviously the watch time's fantastic. If you look at the reach, like remember the last one we looked at. So essentially the last one we looked at, thumbnail was kind of crap. It had like a 3.5 click-through rate. This one has closer to 7. So the thumbnail's a little bit better. And so, it's almost 7 people out of 100 that see it, click on it, right?
What's a good number there? Is that a good number?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the highest one I had was 11. And so 6 though is above average.
That's good to know. And so again, to explain what that means is somebody sees the thumbnail, that little moving to Orlando picture there, and it caused them to click.
That's right.
That's important to understand. Okay,
that's right.
Cool.
So you look at like kind of where the traffic's coming from, external. So that was, it's coming from everywhere from Facebook to Instagram to other places, but 30%, so 300 of them came from just people searching organically on YouTube about Orlando. Browse features would be like over on the side, the discovery areas, channel pages, that's other people's stuff that they clicked through. So a good, half of my stuff came from just organically people finding the page and searching those exact keywords.
Love it.
So this is important to me as well. So when you're doing videos and you're uploading stuff, do people care? Like how long do they stay on your page? Because Google's going to reward you for the longer people stay on your video and on your page and on YouTube in general, right? So it's going to be important that you're looking at like your average view duration. So my video is 3 minutes, 49 seconds. They're watching a little over 2. For me, if people are watching like 2/3 of my video, that's pretty good. Like I don't even watch many videos all the way to the end.
Right.
And so for me, if I can keep someone's engagement, that's good.
Yep, I agree. That's why TikTok's so popular, by the way. 15-second videos, man. It's easily consumable.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so let's see. Audience, again, 26 subscribers from this one.
That's money. That's really good.
That was like a home. And this is like over just the past week. It's that's pretty cool.
Do you pay any attention to the to gender, age, any of that kind of stuff?
No, I just kind of, with the whole real estate stuff, I just don't even look at it really. It is interesting. I mean, 90% of guys like to watch my face, apparently.
No comments. No comments.
Yeah.
You're a good-looking fella. You're a good-looking fella. What about if anybody's wondering, like if they want to put money behind, everybody knows how to run an ad on Facebook, right? Or Instagram. It's easy. How do they do it on YouTube? Is there an easy way to do it on YouTube that somebody may not understand or know how to do?
Yeah. So the amazing thing about YouTube is that it's run by Google, right? And so you use the same exact platform that you run pay-per-click with Google to run YouTube. It's really super simple. You just drop in the video that you want to have, and then you get to choose the keywords, right? So if people are searching about, Dallas and you live in Dallas or Plano or whatever, like get even more hyper-local than that, you can choose that anytime someone is on YouTube and they're searching about your town or about this house or about this thing you're talking about, they're going to get served up your video. And you get a couple different ways to do that. One is going to be like the discovery videos where, so you got stuff over on the side that pops up. That's where I like to play most. Because, or you have the ones that are like the ad roll right before a video starts, which all of us just hurry up and wait to click that skip button as quick as possible.
Yep.
And that actually is going to hurt your analytics. If people are watching your video and they keep skipping out after 6 seconds, YouTube's going to say that's probably not a fantastic video, and they're going to not serve it up as often. So we play in the discovery space. It's a little bit cheaper. And for us, I think the engagement has been better.
That's interesting, because I've also heard YouTubers talk about how, and if you don't know what he's talking about, which I think you all do, like when you go to YouTube and you watch a video, a lot of times it starts with like a 5 to 15 second ad. And we almost always skip through them. But they also say that you're not paying unless they click through. So when they skip it, you're not actually paying for it, which is what makes YouTube so attractive from a cost perspective.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, 100%. So I agree with that for sure. It's just more or less I've read now on multiple blogs, and the people that I follow say that if people are skipping off your video, that organically now you're going to be hurt. So you're not going to be paying for it.
It's kind of BS though, because think about it. I didn't click on you. I clicked on something else, and then you were just thrust in front of my face. So why should you, Ken, be penalized because I skipped your video? Well, I didn't go to watch you anyway.
That's true. Maybe I should do one on a video I don't care about and see what happens.
That's awesome. But that's good to know though, because basically you're saying when you go to set up your ads, you have a choice of choosing, what do you call it? Display or what?
So you have got display, or then you've got the in-stream ads. So where people can click through that. So for us, we've played it in the discovery space, and it's been really good for us. So that's where I'll continue to go. I do, however, have other folks that will go create like a 20-second ad. Right. And like a just 20-second video to put in as an ad, like, hey, listen, I only have 6 seconds, but if you're interested in Orlando, click here. Right.
Smart.
And then it takes them over to their YouTube channel, and then they can kind of expound from there. We haven't done that yet. But.
Is Google, so do you have any idea, like if, let's just say you did something like that, where do you think they're putting your in-stream ads? Like, are they strategically putting them in front of people that are probably most interested in Orlando, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be lining up with the demographics and the keywords that you're choosing. So yeah, but I mean, I'll tell you what, like, you know, there's also the other side of like looking at ads, right? Just you running ads and monetizing your channel. That's a whole nother conversation. But like, you want to show up where your ideal client is looking, right? And so like if someone's looking at Savannah, Georgia homes, and you don't have your stuff dialed in, and you're trying to find people in Orlando, that's not your ideal audience, and you're just kind of wasting money.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, like I've monetized my channel. I've got more than 1,000 subscribers, so I can make money from YouTube. If I want to run ads on my videos, now other people from across the country can start, you know, hey, if you're thinking about buying a house, RE/MAX is the greatest place in the world. So, you know, click here, right? And I'm helping those people by creating content, but they're not watching me per se. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned Savannah too. Anybody who follows any YouTube realtors, like she's like one of the queens.
Karen? Yeah, she's good.
Yep. Awesome. Good stuff. And by the way, I will point that out. So obviously we have Ken on today because he's obviously crushing it. Karen is another person, Savannah, Georgia. If you go in and type in Savannah, Georgia real estate on Google, see what comes up as your choices of YouTube videos. And she does basic videos. Like she even says it. I use my cell phone. It's nothing fancy, but I just create a ton of content. And I believe I've heard her speak many times that she gets the vast majority of her business. That's like her only strategy is YouTube.
Yeah. She's got like one pillar. I spoke with her at family reunion, and she said like 70% of her business is coming directly from YouTube right now. That's
insane. It's such a powerful platform. So I've got two more things I want to talk about because we're running out of time. Number one, while we're still got you on here, the playlists. Do you recommend, so for anybody getting into the YouTube game, you're going to start creating content, just uploading videos. It's your video library. Do you recommend a playlist strategy? Is it important?
Yes, and we haven't really dove in as much as we should. So like right now we've got like our listings. We did a series ago, Guess the Price. And so essentially like if someone's going to click on this right here, and they're going to watch my playlist and go through over here on the side, you can see everything having to do with moving to Orlando is going to be right over here. Right. So because again, YouTube is going to benefit you, and if you have people stay on your channel longer. So if you can kind of chunk together all of similar videos and keep them on your channel longer, you're going to get some benefit behind that. You're going to get some more opportunities to get more people. So that's really important. The other piece I would say in terms of keeping people on your channel, give me 1 second, is end screens here, right here.
Yep.
Right. So at the end of somebody watching your video, you have, in the last 20 seconds of the video, you have an opportunity to then keep them on your video, on your channel, or not. They're either going to bounce off or they're going to stay on and watch a little bit more. And so playlists and end screens here, they're going to do the same thing, end cards rather. And so for here, they have the opportunity, now that they've watched moving to Orlando, they can click on this and go watch my next video, or they can click up here and subscribe to the channel. And so this right here, we started implementing this on our past 30 or 40 videos. And now I can actually, through analytics, watch how many people have now clicked on that. And keeping people on the channel has been fantastic. And our watch, it helps everybody, it helps the whole channel continue to grow.
I love it. And for anybody wondering, okay, how in the hell does he do that? The answer is, as you're uploading a video, you follow a series of screens. You just keep hitting next. And YouTube essentially it throws it right in front of your face. It's not, I wouldn't call it like super simple, but it's also not rocket science. I was able to figure it out. And it was just one of those things that YouTube continued to evolve. Yeah, here we go. So, and you just plop something in there. It's not that hard. You can figure it out on your own.
Yeah, for sure. It's really drag and drop. Like so much of this stuff, like I'm still learning, right? We're always trying to get better. But I mean, 2 years ago, I knew absolutely nothing. And it was just spending a little bit of time every week, honing my skill, and then testing what works and what doesn't. You know, like that's the biggest thing with YouTube, is that you're going to figure out, like, some of my videos are home runs and other ones completely flop, and that's okay. And so like this one, so going back here, you know, you can add in at the end, you can throw in a video, you can subscribe, put something about your channel, or add a link. Nobody really clicks on links, so we don't use them, but those are the different options that you can add in at the end of the video.
I love it. And honestly, this was designed to be a webinar. Like, YouTube is a topic that we'll continue to talk about. We're just not gonna, there's so much content. I mean, Ken and I could probably talk literally for an entire day about this and dive really, really deep. Yeah. But again, we're always kind of assuming, we're always going to start very basic. And so that's the last question I want to present to you is, you know, let's kind of assume somebody is not doing a lot on YouTube. Where do you recommend, like, give us like steps? Like, obviously it starts with creating a channel, and then it starts with creating content and just loading content into YouTube. What would you say is the kind of the progression of how you should follow along? Or what did you do? What was your progression on YouTube? Because you didn't go from 0 to 100. Like, you crawled before you walked. So how would you describe that after start a YouTube channel? Make sure it's a complete profile, by the way. That's extremely important on all your social platforms. Yep. The algorithm wants that. And then, like, banners and explanations about who you are and all that jazz. Then create video content. Then what are the steps? Like, what's the progression, would you say?
You know, I would say a huge piece is just, you know, it starts with the mindset of it all, right? So much of this stuff, you know, I'm getting leads now from videos we shot a year ago. And so if you're going in with the right mindset of, this isn't going to change your business overnight, like farming and expireds and social media, none of this is a magic. It's not a silver bullet. And so going in with the mindset of, like, listen, I want to make this a pillar of my business, and it's going to take, you know, 3 to 6 months before I start seeing some decent results, and then maybe a year or two before it's very consistent. But that's like anything that's worth doing. You know, if you plan on being in this business long term, you need to be going into video. So it would be, you know, creating your channel account, building out the profile, you know, getting maybe a little comfortable with, you know, just getting on camera more, right? So that you're being consistent with your content creation, and then putting it into your schedule. You know, every other week is when we do it. Every other Thursday, I time block a half a day, and we shoot 2 to 3 pieces of content, and it's I never miss. And so that's really the mindset. Committing to consistency and the long term are the places to start.
I love it. And do you have any particular strategy? Because people ask me this all the time. How often should I, because we talk about, by the way, how often they should be posting on Facebook and IG. What about YouTube? Because I feel like it's different, but what's your answer to that question? Like, how often should I be uploading videos to YouTube?
Yeah, I think it's at least once a week. I would commit to doing it once a week. And so, and you should find a cadence on what works well for you. I've talked to huge YouTubers and people, there's like, the best time of the week and a day to post. But what's most important is that you're consistent. So for us, we're right on Tuesday in the afternoon is when we post every single week. And that, now goes out to our database, and it goes out, on some different social channels and that sort of thing. But we're consistent with it.
I love it, man. This has been great. And to answer the question from Steve, I answered you obviously on the chat, but all of these real estate masteries are emailed. The recordings are always sent out. As long as you registered, that means you're on our list. We don't send you any spam. All we do is share this content. And all we do is share reminders about upcoming episodes. And then we share recordings, usually about a week later. It takes our videographer actually edits it and puts a little, music and intro in. But other than that, yes, Steve, we will always share all this stuff. This has been good. Does anybody have any other questions who have been on this? I think we covered what's really the meat and potatoes and what's important about YouTube. Again, we could go super deep, and we probably will. We'll probably do this again and dive a hell of a lot deeper. And I'm sure I'm going to learn stuff from you. I can't wait to hear you on stage in Virginia Beach and pick your brain and whatnot. But this has been good, man. I really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let's give it a second. If anybody's got any questions, otherwise it doesn't look like it. Otherwise, we'll just say thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions after, it's best to probably pose them in our real estate group, which is called Real Estate and Content Strategies, on Facebook. If you're not already following, it's kind of like a little brother of Lab Coat Agents. Something that we just started locally. It's now growing much bigger, but there's not nearly as much content as Lab Coat. So it's easy not to get lost in the shuffle. That's why we keep Real Estate Mastery over there versus bringing it into the Lab Coat, because it'll get lost. So I love it. Bethany says more info going deeper will be awesome. Awesome. We'll just keep watching. Just keep watching us, Bethany. If you're obviously registered, so you'll be on our list. You'll always get our content. So thank you for being here. Ken, thank you again. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Hold on, we got one question. 1 second, we got a Q&A here. What do you suggest to drive traffic to your YouTube channel?
So I would think just to start, you're obviously going to have organic. It's going to take a little bit of time. But then, we all have databases, right? And so that's one thing we didn't really touch about today is like, if you're following the MREA, it's a minimum 33 touch. Now it's 36 touch. Your videos could be 52 touches, right? Like we send ours out now to our database every week, and not everybody clicks on it, but it's a decent amount, right? So you have a list, send it out to your database, gets consistent, and you're putting out cool content that's not just about like, hey, if you want to know what your house is worth, click here. It's like, hey, here's what's going on with the new coffee shop in town, or here's what's going on with the new burger joint, right? And so it's good consumable content that'll start getting you some views, start getting you some subscribers, and kind of get your channel some momentum. From there, sharing it on some social pieces might be okay in certain circumstances, as long as it's not too spammy. But yeah, from there, it's just going to be the SEO reach.
Is there a certain, so when somebody emails out a YouTube link, I will take a snip of kind of like a thumbnail, right? I will copy and paste it into an email body, and then you right click it and then enter the hyperlink back to the video, right? Do you have a different strategy than that?
Yeah, we just use the exact thumbnail that we're uploading into YouTube. So we're not recreating the wheel, just thumbnail into the email body, which then, yeah, it's a hyperlink to the YouTube channel, the YouTube video, and yeah, sending that out to the database.
And that's important, folks. Like that is extra content. And so a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm bombarding my people. No, you're not. Most of your people are never going to see it on YouTube. They may never see it on Facebook. So put it in front of their email. You just never know. You're never annoying people. They can scroll past, they can unsubscribe, they can leave you if they want, but never think you're annoying people. Awesome, brother. Well, I appreciate you. Looking forward to meeting you in person in a couple of weeks, and thank you all for being on, and we will make sure we get this shared out here in about a week or so.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, brother. Bye, guys.